have reached a point where you realize that your current eating pattern and weight management strategies don't work, this is an invitation to give yourself the opportunity to try something different. It's not easy making changes to your eating, especially if you've suffered from binge eating for many years. Research studies suggest that eating 4, 5 or even 6 times a day sets you up in the best way to stave off hunger. What this looks like is 3 meals and 3 snacks per day. When you're eating according to this or a similar routine, every meal and snack you have not only reduces the possibility of a binge, it also helps you make better food choices because you're not hungry all the time. Here are some tips to sustain regular eating during the early phase of recovery. Number 1, try to prepare and plan ahead, even if it's just a day ahead. Every time you're doing this, you're fending off the possibility of having a binge. It's more difficult to binge when you've already cooked or planned meals. Number 2, ideally there'll not be too many hours between meals and snacks. Eat regularly and try not to skip any meals. Here's the thing, even though you might still binge during this time, you still need to stick to your planned meals. I know this is something many people find uncomfortable initially. However, over time, it actually becomes more uncomfortable to binge once you stick with this routine. Another reason why it's important not to skip meals is that when you're compensating here and there or trying to restrict food intake, when you finally do eat, it's likely that because you're so hungry, you'll end up eating too much, resulting in weight gain. So ironically, eating regularly throughout the day protects you from weight gain. Number 3, ensure that portion sizes are enough, and most importantly, ensure that you're not cutting out food groups or depriving yourself of anything you particularly enjoy. You'll already know this, your body is primed to respond powerfully to deprivation, and this will trigger a binge. Number 4, you will still binge, because lapses are part of any process towards change. Lapses are valuable because they help us learn and they tell us about our blind spots. This is where self-monitoring really helps, so keep a record of how you're eating and the things that get in the way of sticking to your routine. And number 5, try to use these tips as guidelines and not rigid food rules. One of the recovery goals is learning to eat flexibly. This is as opposed to the extreme food rules, which are generally broken and lead only to feelings of shame and guilt. When you're eating regularly and enough, physiological cravings to binge are reduced. If you're also using a self-monitoring tool, this is going to be really helpful in differentiating between physiological triggers to binge eating as well as the emotional ones.